Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic here live from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. My name is Mike Avery, and as always, glad to have you along with us here on Facebook, Instagram. All right. Captain Joe, good morning. How are you? Rec Broadheads. Rec, I'm going to be using your heads as I head to White River, Ontario, Canada here in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to that. Good morning, Captain. Good morning, Craig. How are you? He says, good morning, Captain Mike. I am on Instagram this morning, right here, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter over here. Michigan Dirt is with us. Nice to have you along with us. Bruce is with us. Brad is with us. My name is Mike Avery, and this is my weekly live look behind the scenes here at the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I got to be honest, as much as I love being in this studio, man, I wish I was fishing this morning. Scott says he picked up some perch yesterday, got a few jumbos. Wonderful. Eric, good morning. How are you? Jake, nice to have you with us as well. Jerry's on board with us. Checking in Marlette. He's on Instagram. Scott from Mayville, can't wait for bow season. Ben Hunton's with us. Eric's with us. Scott's with us. Lori's with us. Good morning. My name is Mike Avery, and I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Brad checking in from Cadillac. Mad Jack checking in with us on YouTube this morning. Again, I wish I love being in here, but I wish I was fishing. I have missed some very, very good fishing days lately because I've got good morning, Scott. How are you? Brian? Got a good crowd this morning, and I do appreciate it. I'm here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I'll tell you more about that in a minute, but Eagle Bay is with us. Good morning, Paul. Paul, you got a nice crop of bears up there as usual. Paul, I think you need one more hunter yet, right? Ed, good morning. Jim, good morning. Keith checking in from Mesick. Mike Streeter, good morning. How are you? Lori says she's heading to Illinois early Sunday morning to do some noodling. Lori, when you get back, let's get you on the radio show to talk about that, all right? No, you're good now, Paul. Okay, Paul is good on his number of hunters. Excellent. Good for you. So Paul's all set. I think Johnny Bowler could use another hunter. I think Gary Morgan needs another hunter. Good morning, Dave. You been out predator hunting, Dave? You know, that's something we don't often think about this time of year, but the hardcore predator hunters are still out there. Lori says she's loved that. Thank you. She said her Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Ladies Night Out was a great night. I'm sure it was. Good morning, Scott. How are you? Nice to see you over on Instagram. Good morning, Mike. Now, you folks watching on Instagram realize I've got two professional microphones in front of me here, but neither one is connected to there. Hello, Gus. Good morning, my friend. How are you? So if you're watching on Instagram, the audio is going to be just the audio from my iPhone. Dan will be fishing the Skinny Water Friday and Saturday. Dan, I am so jealous. I want to get out there so bad, but I'm working on a project at the house that's keeping me at the house. Ted Harpham, my friend from Dart and Archery, dartandarchery.com. How are you? I hope to pick up my Dart and Archery Toxin 150 crossbow Sunday. And that's what I'm going to be using in White River. I was going back and forth between the crossbow and the recurve, and I'm just, with everything going on, the projects, getting ready for this bear hunt, doubling up on shows, I just don't have the time to shoot that recurve to the extent that I should be. Fat fingers, eh? Should be. So Randy's fishing today. Randy, that's what I should be doing today. Let me know how you did. Jason checking in from the Ira Township Fire Department. Good morning, Jason. How are you? So my body is in the studio, but my heart is on the water right now. Thanks for making the Wednesday morning event. Hopefully the wolf meeting goes well today in Ishpeming. Paul, good point. The Wolf Advisory Committee is meeting. The Michigan Wolf Advisory Committee is meeting in Ishpeming today. They are taking public comment. This is especially important because keep in mind what our Michigan Attorney General did last week. She filed, it wasn't a lawsuit, it was an amicus brief, I think is what it's called. And I'm no lawyer. The lawyer in my family is my daughter. But she wants wolves put back on the endangered species list. Good morning, Chris. How are things in Kansas? Lance Valentine, I almost said Walleye 101, Lance. Lance Valentine of Teachin' Fishing, teachinfishing.com, one of my favorite people in the world, one of the best anglers I know, and an all-around good guy, Lance. Have fun up there, buddy. He's heading for Escanaba. Great time and enjoyed walleye fishing with you. Hey, Joe, it was wonderful. It was fun, Joe. I appreciate you guys joining us. Nate says he's watching that meeting online. I didn't realize they'd started already. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Johnny Bull. Hey, Johnny, how are you set on hunters? Lori says, good luck this weekend. I don't know if that's directed at me, Lori, or not. Like I said, I'm working on, I do have something going this weekend. We're going to see Chris Stapleton down at, I still call it Pine Knob. DTE. To Lance. Gotcha, Lori. Thank you. I was going to say, yeah, I'll take all the luck I can get. But I've got this project. A buddy of ours, Jim, is actually doing most of the work, but I am helping him out and helping him out. And I'm tied pretty close to the house right now, and I want to be on the bay. Brad says he took up fishing after 25 years because my kids wanted to fish. Caught my first fish in 25 years 2 weeks ago, a little smallie. Excellent, Brad. Excellent. Should be a great concert, yeah. I'm not much of a concert guy. For me to go to a concert, it would have to be a Neil Young, a Laith El-Sadi, a Pink Floyd, but that ain't going to happen, or a Chris Stapleton. Great. Johnny says probably 2 more than I need, but they will do great. Ted says he's got a new Toxin RD, which is a reverse draw, ready for me. Now, reverse draw on these Dartons doesn't mean the limbs are pointing towards you. It means the string comes off the cams on the opposite side of what they normally do. I'm looking forward to shooting one. Looking forward to Jason checking in from the Ford Dearborn truck plant. I wondered if you were out there this morning, Jason. Will this be the new format going forward? Instagram Live instead of Facebook Live? Scott, I am on Facebook Live right now, and I am on YouTube Live right now, and I am on Twitter Live right now, and I am on Instagram Live right now. So, good morning, Teresa. Good morning, Kevin. I would just as soon combine everything into one, but Instagram won't let me, so I have to use a separate device to go live to Instagram. Anyway, heading for White River, Ontario, Canada here. A concern, right? There was some concern that once we got into Canada, how were we going to be able to get back across the border into the States? As much as I love my friends up there, I don't want to go up there and then get stuck in Canada. But I talked to the chief of border security in Port Huron. He said it's no problem. I realize Port Huron is not the Sioux, but he said it shouldn't be any problem at all. Brian says, how's the fishing been? Brian, you're killing me, Brian. You're killing me. I want to tell you how the fishing's been, but for the first time this summer, I have not been back on the bay since we last talked because of wind and because of a project at the house. But it's driving me crazy. I want to be back on the bay. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Because the fishing, normally by this time of year, normally by the first week in August, certainly the middle of August, the skinny water fish that I like so much on Saginaw Bay have moved out because the water temp gets too high and those fish move out. The skinny water fishery is holding up pretty well so far this year. So the fishing has been pretty good, and here I am not being able to take advantage of it. We did take, thank you, Pat, a very nice, enjoyable river cruise with some friends on the Angler Quest Saturday night. That was wonderful. Something interesting happened there too, and just something to be aware of. For those of you especially who keep your boat at a slip or tied up to a dock all the time. When I tie up the Angler Quest, I got a moose hunt in Newfoundland in September, hoping things stay open, Ryan. I agree. Bill checking in from Spider Lake. Good morning. I can't help but think the other shoe is going to drop. I will not be relaxed about getting into Canada until I'm there. Brian got a 7-pound, 29-inch walleye last week. Wow. That is a big, big summertime fish. So on Saginaw Bay, where I keep my boat, the water level goes up and down dramatically depending on the wind direction and the strength of the wind. So I get out to the Angler Quest Saturday afternoon, and the water had dropped 2 feet. I mean, it had dropped a lot because of a strong, strong southwest wind. I normally like to leave some slack in my lines tying off the Angler Quest just for that reason. And when I got there, the lines were a little bit tight, but I was in good shape. So I jumped on the side. I jumped in the boat. Derek says, from a non-bay fisherman, what is the skinny water? I'll come back to that in a minute. I'll make myself a note. Skinny. That's a question I get asked all the time. What is skinny water? It's any water where skinny people fish. No, that's not the case. So I get on the boat, and I realize that Angler Quest is very stable, but even now after losing weight, I'm still a pretty good-sized guy. When I got in the boat, it brought the side of the Angler Quest down just enough where it actually broke one of my dock lines. And this was a new line from this year. I just put them on this year. And I didn't notice it at first. So I'm in there screwing around on the boat, and I look up, and I've blown over just about into the other guy's slip. So just keep that in mind. Maybe leave a little extra slack in your dock lines over what you think you're going to need. Skinny water, Derek. I love to fish skinny water, shallow water. Has the water temp dropped in the bay like it did in Lake Michigan? Nate, I haven't been out for a week, but the last time I was out, yes, the northeast winds had blown in some cold water and the temp had dropped. Yes. It was up to 77. Last time I was out, it was down to 71. So that's what makes me think we can keep some fish in that skinny water. I love to fish shallow water, a.k.a. skinny water. And the reason is if I'm out in 20, 25 feet of water, which to a salmon fisherman seems like nothing, but to a Saginaw Bay walleye angler, big difference. Say I'm out fishing 25 feet of water. Even though I'm marking fish, I don't really know what fish to target. Do I target the high fish? Do I target the middle fish? Do I target the fish on the bottom? When I'm in skinny water, 10-ish feet of water, I know where to fish. I'm fishing that 10 feet of water. Plus, I find when the fish are in there skinny, shallow, they're active and aggressive, and you can put a flicker shad or a Hottentot 6 to 10 feet behind a board, and the fish will hit it. So the skinny water that I used to fish used to be 7 to 9 feet. And then the water went up and came back down again. I'm calling skinny water 9 to 11 feet-ish. That to me is skinny water. Steve's with us over on Instagram. Good morning, Steve. Nice to have you along with us. Johnny Bowler says he got some more pictures from Bill. Ohio is going to be fun one way or another. Ohio will be fun, Johnny. You can count on it. And Johnny, you know this better than anybody. Just because we're seeing pictures of big bucks right now doesn't mean they're going to be hanging around those same spots in October. Now, they'll be around, and they are there. I've seen some wonderful bucks in Ohio with Bill Piles. I've shot a nice one years ago. I've missed a couple of really nice bucks down there. Ted Harpham says he will have my bow at Backwoods Blueberries in Hemlock this weekend. The Darton shooting trailer will be there for guys to test drive the new Dartons. Excellent. Speaking of archery, Sam Austin's checking in. Good morning, Sam. How are you? Sam's in the archery department of Jay's Sporting Goods Claire store. Great guy to work on your bow. So Backwoods Blueberries in Hemlock this weekend. So I'll be able to pick up my bow and get some blueberries. And folks, if you want to swing by and test drive the new Dartons, I would think that's a great idea. Also, Ted, I'm sure you will be at the big Woods and Water show in September because that's back on this year. Buckhorn 19 over on Instagram. Good morning. How are you? Lori says she's got to get shooting her bow, so she's ready for Ohio. Lori's going down with us. Good morning, Ross. Nobody's asked me what day it is, by the way. 2 weeks and 3 days till we head to Ontario. Johnny says, hey, for me, just going out and hanging out with you and meeting the rest of the group will make my trip worthwhile. It will, and it'll be fun, Johnny. And I think you have a good chance of a close encounter with a nice buck. Now, there's no guarantee, of course. Brad says Darton is a great brand, but he loves his Excalibur recurve style crossbows. I get it. The blueberries are amazing. Weedy says the blueberries there are amazing. We picked over 20 pounds in an hour. Excellent. Excellent. You know, all of the bows these days are great bows. But I made the decision that I want to work with Michigan-based companies whenever possible. And Darton is a Michigan-based company. Unlike some of the Michigan-based companies, Darton's bows are made here in Michigan. Ross says, Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Thank you, Ross. Dennis, you were a little late. Ross, a little late. Lori playing the role of Bill Hoffman. Bill Hoffman, who I have dubbed the most interesting man in Michigan, I am now giving Lori Card the title of the most interesting woman in Michigan. So the most interesting woman in Michigan just said, who's on the radio show this week? Thank you, Lori, for asking. Wildcard Outdoor Adventures, by the way. DartonArchery.com for Darton, JaySportinggoods.com for Jays, Wildcard Outdoor Adventures for Lori Card. My first guest this week on the radio show, which is why I'm here, right? I do this live stuff. It's like a pregame. I'm pregaming for the radio show. And then I will record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. Bill Hahn of Jay's Sporting Goods joins me to talk about getting ready for the hunting season and some of the new cool gear that's out there. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News talks about their upcoming big outdoor weekend. Now, that'll be a big weekend because the first full weekend after Labor Day is the outdoor weekend. It's also Jay's Sporting Goods 50th anniversary celebration. So I will be down in Imlay City on Friday, and I'll be in Clare on Saturday. Nathan says, have you checked out Lane Walker Hunting and Fishing Books for Kids? They are Michigan-based. I think I've talked to Lane, Nate, but that's about all I can tell you. John said, it's amazing how inexperienced they can make crossbows at such a good, inexpensive they can make crossbows at such a good quality. We'll be checking at Jay's to look for the best brands. All right. I'm putting on my official broadcast headphones to check with my, do you have me, Pat? Did you say, oh, there we go. Check out, AC says, check out my friend Lowell Miller and LT Outdoors channel. Might make a great interview. I will do that. Fisher Queen. Hey, Fisher Queen. Nice to have you back with us over on Instagram. Good point, Brad. If the Wraith 270 see-through ground blind is see-through, how is it for wind protection? Surprisingly good. And the thing I found out is even in a rain, even though it's got holes in it and you can see through it and it's a mesh, I knew what you meant to say, John. Good morning, Raymond. How are you? Is my window closed? I'm in the studio today, Fisher Queen. I'm not at home. Ted Hartman says, have a great day, Mike. Got to get building some bows. Yeah, make sure you get mine built. Hey, Ted. In hour number 2, Larry Jennings of Jonah Jigs. Anyway, going back to the Wraith. Thank you. It's pretty good at keeping wind out, and it's pretty good at keeping rain out as well, surprisingly. Larry Jennings of Jonah Jigs joins me in hour number 2. He talks about jigging for salmon. We hear so much about trolling for salmon, of course. Fireman 241 over on Instagram. Nice to have you with us. You can jig up king salmon this time of year at the pier heads and the river mouths. You don't need to troll them. How much fun would it be to hook into a 20-pound king salmon while you're jigging? Then Ed Ice checks in from the DNR with an update on Michigan's grayling program. I get a lot of questions about this, about the grayling reintroduction program. Ed will bring us up to speed on that. And then this week's Ask Avery segment, I was asked to bring on Chris Durson of Rapid River Knife Works to talk about putting an edge on a knife. Speaking of Rapid River, I've shown you this before. I will show you this again. This is my Rapid River folder. This right here, believe it or not, is woolly mammoth ivory. They figure it's 70,000 years old. I don't know where Chris gets this stuff, but this is woolly mammoth ivory. This knife was made for me. It is incredibly sharp. I love this thing. Chris will be along with us to talk about putting an edge on a knife. And in hour number 3, we're talking about wildlife photography with Steve Jessmore, a guy I've known for literally 30, 35 years. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dave Miner. Rutfuel joined us over on Instagram. Scott says, listen to this. Scott says he has power washed his Wraith inside this weekend and came through the screens only once to a mist. That's how much it holds it back. Speaking of that Wraith, let's talk about a couple of things here. When I go to White River in a couple of weeks, I'm taking 2 blinds with me. I'm taking a Wraith see-through blind from Primal Tree Stands, and I'm taking one of the new Breeze blinds designed for warm weather hunting because I suspect it'll be pretty warm up there. 20 seconds? OutdoorPregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20. You can get a Wraith and a Breeze at a big discount. MichiganBrand.net. Michigan Brand Meats. Use the promo code Mike21. Big discount. MUCC.org. Use the promo code Mike, all caps. Versaskins.com. Use the promo code Avery20. Blast off. And that's only through September 1st, by the way. All right, my friends. Dave says he bought the knife sharpener kit from Rapid River. It works great, easier than regular stone. True. All right, my friends. I've got to switch gears here. I'm going to put on my official broadcast headphones. I'm going to quit talking to this microphone. I'm going to start talking to this microphone. But I will keep this live feed going as I record the first segment of this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, which is what I'm going to do here. I will not be able to directly interact with you as I have been. I will not be able, good morning, Brent, to directly answer your questions. But feel free to stick around and join me tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Have a good day, my friends. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. My name is Mike Avery, and so glad to have you along with us as we continue to celebrate the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan and occasionally beyond. We talk about hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and wildlife and conservation issues, some wild game cooking. Occasionally, we get into politics. I don't like that. The only politics we talk about are those that are related to hunting or fishing or shooting or trapping or conservation or wildlife-related issues. Other than that, I pretty much got a no politician rule on the show, by the way. Oh, boy. We're in August now. I mean, summertime is certainly slipping away. You notice the day is getting shorter. I mean, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news here. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to the fall. They don't have much use for the summertime, but I do. I love the summertime. And it's slipping by fast. The days are getting shorter. The calendar's getting towards mid-August here pretty soon. The kids are going to be going back to school. So what does that mean for us? It means if you haven't taken advantage of the outdoor opportunities here in Michigan yet, you got some time, but don't drag your feet. I think it's a shame when I hear from people that, you know, boy, we had this trip planned, or we had this fishing trip planned, or we we're going to go out with a charter captain or whatever, and we didn't do it, you know? You think about it all winter long, right? When it's cold and snowy and you're hunkered down inside, and you think, man, next summer I'm going to do all these things. We're going to do all this cool stuff. We're going to have all these adventures. And then sometimes think life gets in the way. And I get that. Even though my job is to try to go hunting and fishing as much as possible and promote hunting and fishing as much as possible. I get the fact that life does get in the way. In fact, it's gotten in the way of my adventures the last week. For the first time this summer, as I sit here at this microphone in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio, I have not been fishing since we last talked. And it's breaking my heart. And it's, to be honest, making me a little bit mad because there have been about 3 days in a row now of light winds when it would have been absolutely perfect to be on Saginaw Bay, and I haven't been out there. Normally, by this time of year, the fishing in my beloved Skinny Water starts to slow down, the water temperature rises, and the fish go out deeper to cooler water. But that fishery is holding up pretty good this year. I think we've had some northeast winds that have blown some cold water in, and I haven't been able to get out and take advantage of it. And it's driving me bonkers. But going back to life getting in the way. We got a project going at the house right now. Now, a friend of ours, Jim, is doing the bulk of the work, but I've been helping him out with it and doing some painting. And this is something we really want to get done before I go up to White River, Ontario, Canada on a bear hunt here in a couple of weeks. So there's kind of a time crunch here. And that's when I haven't been working. I've been working on the house instead of on the water. And it actually doesn't look good for me to get on the water for the next couple of weeks because getting ready for this bear hunt, I'll be doubling up on shows, yada, yada, yada. So I'm kind of bumming here. And by the time I get back, traditionally, the fishing on the Inner Bay has slowed down quite a bit. Did get out on the angler quest this last week, though, so I got that going for me. We took a river cruise with some friends of ours from church. They bought this cruise at a fundraising dinner a couple of years ago, and just they weren't able to make it happen until this last weekend. Boy, it was nice. Nice evening cruise. Weather was decent. Beautiful scenery. Great people. Oh, it was nice. I did have something interesting, though. On Saginaw Bay, where I keep my boat, and I keep the Angler Quest in a slip at a dock. The water fluctuates there. The water level fluctuates there a lot. And it has to do primarily with, well, rainfall. Yeah, that'll help, but affect it. But wind. You get a strong northeast wind, it'll push that water back into the Inner Bay. It'll push it up the river. And vice versa, a strong southwest wind will blow the water out. I mean, it is not uncommon to have the water level fluctuate a couple of feet in the same day. And I saw this last weekend. I like to tie the Angler Quest up, and I've got an 826 Pro Troll, which is a beautiful, beautiful boat. I like to leave a little extra slack in the dock lines. So if the water goes up or down, I got room to move, and I'm not, stretching those lines. Apparently, the last time I tied it off, I didn't leave enough slack in the one line. And when we get out there on the port side stern dock line was pretty tight. It was okay, but it was pretty tight. I noticed it, but I didn't really think much of it. So then I get down on the boat and realize this Angler Quest it's a wide boat with a tri-tune, so it's very stable. But when I got in the boat, I put just enough pressure on that side of the boat, and I didn't realize it, that it snapped that dock line. And these are brand new lines. I put new lines on there just this spring. And so I'm in the back of the boat, and I'm getting some rods out of the way for our river cruise or whatever. And I look, and the wind has pretty much blown me over into the slip next door. Fortunately, I didn't bounce off the boat next to me. But it really got, it surprised me because I didn't know what had happened. So, word to the wise, if you're in a situation like that and you think you've got enough slack in your dock lines, maybe leave just a little bit more. I will be doing that from now on. So I haven't been fishing. Haven't been doing much of anything except work and working on the house. So I get the fact that life gets in the way, even for people like me, whose job it is to try to take advantage of these adventures as much as possible. But I do have an adventure coming up. The border is scheduled to open to Canada, Ontario, on the 9th. I got to be honest, I will not be confident or relaxed about the situation until I'm actually crossing over into Ontario from the Sioux. I've got this feeling that the other shoe is going to drop. I just feel like, and again, not getting into politics, I just feel like there are certain powers that be that want to put us back into a lockdown situation just to prove that they can do it. So there is a way to get into Ontario. You've got to have, of course, you got to have your you got to be fully vaccinated. And then you've got to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of crossing over into the border. Other than that, it's pretty seamless. So then I thought, okay, well, what happens? I get into Ontario. I go up to White River. I go on a wonderful bear hunt with the guys up there. I come back to the States. I come back to Michigan. What hoops am I going to have to jump through to get back into Michigan? So I actually checked with the chief of Border Patrol in Port Huron. Now, I realize Port Huron is not the Sioux, but I've had dealings with him before. I reached out to him. He said, don't worry about it. All you have to do is show your passport and you can come back in. Excellent. Those bears now haven't been hunted in a year and a half, and they have no berry crop. So it should be interesting. Why is lack of berries a positive sign? Because in years, and this is Michigan too, or Ontario, or anywhere else you're going to be hunting bears. In years where you have a good acorn crop or a good berry crop, the bears are less likely to come into baits. But if there is not a lot of natural food out there, they're going to be more likely to come into the baits. Very excited about that. I have made the decision that on this bear hunt, I will be using a crossbow. If for no other reason than because of the factors I was talking about with work and work around the house, I just am not going to have the time in the next couple of weeks to spend shooting the recurve that I need to feel confident and proficient with it. So actually, I think this weekend I'm picking up a new dart and crossbow, the 150 RD, the Toxin 150 RD. And I think that's what I'm going to shoot. There are a lot of great crossbows out there, but I have made my decision whenever possible to work with Michigan-based companies. And so I like the whole Darton concept. So I'm gonna stick with Darton. What I do plan on doing is for the early doe season, going back to my recurve and trying to kill a doe with the recurve. Because that's something I haven't done yet. I've killed a big bear. I've killed a big turkey. I have not killed a deer with a recurve yet. So that's still a goal that's out there. Finally, before I let you go here for the break, 4 promo codes I want to make you available on. Make you aware of. Outdoorpregame.com. Outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20. Mike20. Get a big discount on the Wraith 270 see-through ground blind or the new Breeze ground blind. If you go to MichiganBrand.net, use the promo code Mike21 for a discount on all products on the Michigan Brand website. MUCC.org, promo code Mike, all caps, MIKE, for a 25% discount. And VersaSkins is offering a discount if you use the promo code Avery20. That is only until September 1st. We'll take a break here on the Outdoor Magazine Show. When we come back, Bill Hahn of Jay's Sporting Goods joins me to get us ready for the fall hunting season. Then later in the hour, Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News. And lots more coming up in hour 2 and hour 3 of Outdoor Magazine. Shelb, I saw you come in there. I saw your symbol. Pretty cool, kiddo. All right, my friends. Thanks for joining me here on another edition of Behind the Mic. It's actually Mike Behind the Mic. Have a good day. If you can, please tune in tonight at 7 o'clock for another edition of Wednesday Night Live, where we'll talk about some additional topics. Maybe we'll give something away. I don't know. In the meantime, have a great day, and I will stop both of these feeds. Thanks for joining me.